I had an experience this morning at the gym that I wish to relate because it struck me in a way that it's never really struck me before. Just how not only are we sinking into dystopia. Well, we're not sinking into dystopia. We're being we're being pushed into dystopia. They are lowering us into a dystopia of their making. The controllers, the would-be controllers, the powers that shouldn't be, call them what you will. And so, yeah, increasingly we have a dystopian society on our hands. That doesn't mean that every day, in every way, you're faced with dystopic situations. In fact, you can avoid them most of the time. But you just know that when push comes to shove, if they really want to make you do something, well, you've got some considerations to mull over. Like, what hill do I want to die on? I know I want to die on some hill. I know that something is, at some point, enough is enough, but how much do I just roll my eyes and just let it happen around me? That's a question. That's something that we all just kind of have to decide on our own. I haven't. I have died on many hills already. I've died and been reincarnated in successively weaker and less formative bodies than before. But still, at least I'm still around. Got that going for me. So anyway, what happened this morning was for some reason there were a couple of young women who entered the men's locker room, and I don't know what the reason was. I think it might have just been an accident. They might just have not seen the sign on the door. I don't know what it was. They came walking out a few minutes or a minute or so later, and it was peculiar. I don't know exactly what happened there. Now, these two younger women, they didn't look like they would they were the types who would say, well, actually I identify as male. So I didn't think that was the case, but still, it troubled me. It irked me that they went in there and kind of carelessly, even if it was a careless thing, I thought it was something that annoyed me. But then I thought to myself, you know what? I could, right now, if I wanted to, I could go into, this is what I was thinking to myself at the gym, I could go into the women's locker room and just do my thing, do whatever, take my clothes off, go take a shower, do all the things that one does in a locker room. Walk around naked, or maybe with just a towel on, surrounded by a bunch of naked and partly naked women also taking showers and also doing things. And they would probably not be all that happy to have me there, I would imagine. But I realized that this is actually something I could do. And if anyone complained, I could say, I'm a woman. I identify as a woman. Um, and that's all there is to it. That you have to respect that I feel that I am a woman, even though I may have the body. I may biologically be a man. I am a woman, in my heart. So you have to just let me enter your locker room and do whatever I feel like doing in your locker room. And if you're uncomfortable with it, then that's your own fault, and you need to open your mind and be less closed minded and less of a bigot. Um, and I would I would actually be able to do that. Now, I didn't want to do that. I would never want to do that. Um, Not only because it's wrong, it's improper, uh, and all that, but also, even if I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't want to. I know it would cause a havoc. I know that it would be a big a big hullabaloo, right? I know people would not like it, and people would hate me for it, and I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to have to deal with that. But more than that, I also just know it's not the proper thing to do. You're a man. You go into the male locker room, okay? Unlike those two young women, and I should say, there was nothing like there's nothing erotic about the situation. I'll just put it that way. Um, I don't want to be unkind in my description of these young women, but it wasn't a sort of thing like, ooh, uh, hello, ladies. I'll just leave. I'll just leave it at that. But even if they had been attractive, it still would have. It still was not a proper thing to do. So what's interesting, though, we have, and I guess I'm in a fairly conservative part of the country, but I think this is probably true even in more in blue states. You still have um, men going to men's locker rooms, women going to women's locker rooms, and that's still the norm, even though apparently it's not the norm anymore. Apparently, it doesn't have to be the norm anymore, right? Because now it's just like it's just been been widely noised, uh, you know, and the people who are eager to go along with the current trends, people who are eager to lap up whatever new norms there are, and that whatever you're supposed to whatever perspective you're supposed to have if you're a truly enlightened person, they've all gone along with this. Um, but still, you still don't see these kind of things happen in normal life, even though they could happen. They could happen every single day at my gym. They could happen at your gym. They could happen anywhere. And I'm sure maybe one of you out there has had an experience where somebody has uh, done this. And I hear horror stories, especially about California schools, and um, you know where there's a boy who says he's a girl, going into the girls' room, and the girls are upset, and the administration is just it's just like, well, you girls just need to learn to be more accepting, and a man, a woman can have a penis, a woman and a man can menstruate, a man can get pregnant. all of that, all of those things, all of those this whole ideology, just as I've described it before, meant to fry your brain with cognitive dissonance. All of these stark contradictions that people weren't even going along with 7 years ago, and now suddenly it's the thing. But it doesn't. Isn't it interesting that it doesn't happen most of the time? The vast majority of the time, there's no. That's not. It's just not a thing, even though it could be a thing. And I was like, and so the conclusion I came to was, I didn't know dystopia would be so weird. I knew dystopia would be oppressive. I knew dystopia would. I knew some things about, the contours of the dystopia that they are constructing. That they're attempting to construct with their great resets and their new normals and all the other gobbledygook that they spout. But I wouldn't have thought that we would have this kind of these kinds of circumstances where you don't know. Not only do you not get arrested if you go into the ladies' locker room and you're a man, but people just have to deal with it. As long as you pull out the trump card of, no, well, I'm a woman. I may look like a man, but and I may talk like a man, and I may seem by all appearances to be a man, but in all ways but physical, I am a woman. Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? Isn't it just crazy? Like, when you get right down to it, did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming, right? There are a few things. I remember talking about how I was a little angry with myself that I didn't see the whole misinformation thing coming, that they would use, well, we're not censors, but we just want to, we just don't want to let misinformation get out there. That would be the new censorship. That would be the new rationalization for censorship. I felt like I should have sort of seen that coming, and that sort of snuck up on me. But something like this is so freaky. It's just so damn freaky. And thank God, the social order still holds, even when the rules are completely nuts, and make no sense. And like I said, if you try to make sense of them, it just fries your brain, because not only should we believe it, we have to believe in the claims of radical feminism, but we also have to believe in the claims of transgenderism. We have to believe that there's no difference between men and women, as I've said in a previous video and written about. Got an article about this on my Substack page. We have to believe, first of all, the feminist idea that there's no real biological difference between men and women. Men and women are exactly the same. It's all social conditioning. The reason why men act macho and women act what we consider feminine is just social conditioning. And if we just change society around, people, there's no biological component to men's behavior or men's proclivities, or women's behavior or women's proclivities. But also that's true. But also transgenderism is true. Transgenderism, which says, yes, there is a real male and female essence. Some of us are in the wrong bodies, which directly contradicts the idea that, well, whatever your body is, you're still there's it doesn't really matter because men and women are exactly the same. Now it's no, men and women are different, and if you are a man who finds yourself in the body of a woman or vice versa, then you've got you've got some essential masculinity within your feminine appearance, or some essential femininity within your masculine appearance. Again, all of these contradictions, I believe, one of their functions is to fry your brain, to just make you go mad with cognitive dissonance, and when just like war is peace, freedom is slavery, right? The 1984 dictates or dictums or whatever. Yeah. So, but anyway, it was just wild to think, I could do that. If those girls had said, well, we're men, so even though we don't look like men, we're actually men. So we're gonna change in this men's locker room. They could have done that, and then I could have said, well, I'm a woman, so I'm going to go change in the women's locker room. I could have done that right then and there and not gotten arrested for it. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy, but we have to go beyond just saying it's crazy, it's nuts, it's the inmates are running the asylum. We have to look at it for what it is, and we have to fight it, and see to it that what's gotten turned upside down gets turned back upright again, for the sake of everyone, including our children. So, just a few thoughts. If you have anything to add, please leave your comments below. Thanks for watching.